Oh! Another baby Twilight Devastation! Another baby Twilight Devastation! 6%! How many baby Twilight Devastations can I have on this class? Oh my god! Okay, doesn't matter. Hello my friends, welcome back to the channel, Gyro here. Today, on the hot heels of the Holy Pally experiment, we're gonna utilize the same format and we're gonna try and push this Fire Mage Magician, it's an awesome name, you have to agree, through Horrific Vision of Orgrimmar. This was recorded during the week of Orgrimmar. He barely, so this character, again, I'm not a mage player, all those disclaimers out of the way. Mage is not my main spec, my main class, and mage specs are, I enjoy them to an extent, but lack of native self-sustain and lack of native toughness and my impatience and inability to push higher levels of content that gives me gear that would just give me so much DPS that I'll be a true glass cannon. With all that being said, I'm not a mage proficient player, so get ready for that. But I enjoy mage. I enjoy mage to an extent, especially some specs like fire. Okay, 445 is the item level. Cloak is rank 11. In my personal opinion, that I expressed already in previous videos many times, Cloak rank 11, the reduction of sanity loss by 65% is probably as early as one would try and do a full clear. That's just my personal opinion. I think anything lower than 65% sanity reduction requires some tremendous skill, and I can't remember now, blanking out, I can't remember when I did my first full clear on a Death Knight and on Demon Hunter, who are two main classes that I would always revert back to and say, well, see how they did it, they just overpowering everything. And it's true, they do. This guy, I am gonna have a Ghastly Goulash as food buff. I'm gonna give him some self-sustain, because as opposed to other classes that have some self-heal, mages do not. Mages rely on their mobility, mages rely on the front load of damage and skill. And I have none of those things, really. The Mother's Archives are not looking much better than that either. So yes, I have Elite Extermination, thankfully. I have Elite Extermination, otherwise I wouldn't even be considering this run at this early stage. But I don't have the Gift of the Titans, which usually gives you a bit of a relief, right? I don't have that. My Cloak is barely scraping into the 65 sanity loss reduction territory, what I think makes it doable. So these factors make me feel like I can do this, and you're gonna be a witness to it. Whether I do or not, we're gonna fail or win together. Let's do this. Enough said. You've heard enough. Let's just get straight in. Okay, so I had a Ghastly Goulash for lunch, and I'm regenerating 2% of my maximum health per second, which is very good. I had an Augmentation Rune and I have my Arcane Intellect buff. That's it, that's all I have right now. I'm gonna go straight away invisible to get past these two groups of mobs. I don't know, it's debatable whether this is the right spend of the invisibility, but we're gonna avoid these two groups right now on each my sides. I'm gonna take advantage of Polymorph, which it's very easy to forget these days for us, for those who are not really mages, for those people who are not very proficient with the spec and with the class. Basically, the thing is that for people who are more proficient with any class, any spec, it's very easy to forget how it was for you at the beginning when you didn't know every trick of the trade or simply had a mechanical memory to use something. And to you it may seem like, well, come on, it's just so obvious, why don't you use it? I don't want to keep defending my position and for other classes either, but if you're my regular, one of my regulars, you would understand how I play, and you understand that I'm trying to learn as I go, welcome your feedback, but I also try and squeeze out as much fun as I can out of the content. Alright, so let's try and not pull these aberrations on the left. Let's try and squeeze past, because I'd like to know what liquid might help me restore my sanity when I need it the most. It's green, and with green being the bad one, I know that the good one is going to be the red one. Let's deal with this crowd. See, I like how Mage feels. Mage feels, well, not mage, fire mage specifically. Mage feels, fire mage feels, but boom, boom, like as you're critting, it's just fantastic. It just feels fantastic. The fantasy is just great. And that is me saying as I'm not gonna choose to play fire mage in Shadowlands. I don't care what changes they make. It's a worthy spec to pay attention to and clear horrific vision with, or at the very least try to, as I'm doing right now with you guys, and we both don't know yet what's gonna happen to it at the end of the story. Am I gonna make it? Am I not gonna make it? What's gonna happen? But mage feels good. I'm gonna put some music on, by the way. Music should be already going by the time this part of the video comes into play. Oh yes, I forgot to tell you about my my corruptions. Naturally, we're gonna take a look at them as soon as this fight is over. Basically, corruptions of choice that I have two items with baby Twilight Devastations, the 6% ones. Not one item, but two. And it's not because I have a higher ranked Twilight Devastations, because I don't. I was just lucky or unlucky, depending how you look at it. I was unlucky enough to have two items with 6% Twilight Devastation and basically nothing else. And I think I have also Ineffable Truth, the cooldowns recovery ability, which is not bad. Not too shabby, as some people say. I don't normally, but yeah. As I've just been playing with my characters that who have rank 15 Cloak and Gift of the Titans as well, I can tell you only, my friends, that it's so jarring to suddenly be back in the reality of dealing with the class that does not have that. Of a character, sorry, not class, but a character that doesn't have that. It's just like, oh, really? Oh, I miss it so much. Okay, Dominator got me. That was stupid of me. I just literally just lost the plot there for a second. Let's use Gift of the Naru. Part of the one reason, aside from me loving Draenei ladies, I choose to play Draenei because of the racial, and that racial naturally is the Gift of the Naru that allows you to heal yourself. So if you're not playing Draenei, but you are into this competitive content and that kind of stuff, I reckon you might wanna give it a shot. Like, might wanna consider that the racial in this case is actually a very, very valuable racial. So do consider. Not too bad so far, guys, not too bad, or at least I think that it's, you know, I don't know what your standards are, but by my standards at Cloak rank 11, this could be worse. We all have seen worse, haven't we? Trying to avoid all these images. Just got some sanity back. I obviously will be much more careful with pulling these two groups up the hill right now, because I'm a mage, I'm not a tank, I'm not a healer, I cannot save myself if I need to. I need to be very, very careful. As I said in some of my previous videos, guys, and I have to repeat because I cannot imagine that everyone has been here since the beginning. The worst mob is not Rexxar. Is not something else that is dangerous. It is these burrowing appendages. Because they keep you in combat, and even now, as I say this, I feel like I may be right now getting myself into trouble by not replenishing my sanity and going straight for it. But you know what I'm gonna do? Oh god, I got disoriented, that's bad. I'm gonna actually turn this into a bit of an exciting push. So if you're like, Gyro, what is this push? What are you talking about? Push, push, push. I mean, everyone knows what push means, but what I mean by push is that it is when you make the class of your choice actually do stuff that is a little beyond comfort zone, like right now. Look at this. Cranial defibrillation might go off. I don't know. Let's do this. I'm not gonna take the chance. Boom, it did go off. Oh no, it didn't. Did it? You know what I regret? I regret that there is at least no macro that I know of, and if you know of it, please let me know. There is no macro that I know of that would tell me when my cranial defibrillation has gone off and is no longer available, for example. I tracked Gift of the Titans proccing, I have kind of basic reasonable understanding of weak auras. It even was included in my little guide for you guys on add-ons if you're interested in my UI and how I handle this stuff. But I am unaware of the way for us to expose the variable of whether or not the internal cooldown, the internal kind of availability of cranial defibrillation is still there or not, or has it gone off. I would love to right now see if I still have cranial defibrillation or if it's gone. I probably need to invest some extra time into this. I'll let you know, guys, if I find the way. This was horrible. This fight felt horrible. Oh, it's not over yet even. First of all, I never feel good after I've used up the first orb. If I start using orbs, which I understand is kind of to be expected in these environments, and when we don't, we are just being fancy. But when I use the first orb, it always makes me feel, and I'm sorry if it sounds a bit morbid, but it makes me feel like it's beginning of the end. It makes me feel like, oh mate, you weren't able to, were you? Like, to just deal with it by itself. So yeah, that's how I feel right now, and it makes me start questioning whether or not we'll actually make the full clear, guys, with this run or not. Maybe we'll only manage 4 chests, who knows, we will see. And I know at least at the start of this channel, I used to talk to people all the time about, like, we had a kind of a theme. It wasn't a debate as such, but it was a theme of conversation where we talked about if I need to first clear the Rexxar area as opposed to the area that we've just cleared. And for some reason, for some unknown to me now anymore reason, I always lean towards the Rexxar area. Who knows why. I'm gonna do a skip here on the side, guys. I'm gonna do a skip. I'm gonna use the invisibility and go around these guys and around the central patrol because I think it's a bit tougher. And I'm gonna try and deal with this unavoidable group, obviously, as well as this group at the same time over here. That's what I'm gonna do. And if you just saw Twilight Devastation go that way, that will remind you why I am kind of not using the... why I'm not a fan, basically. Why I'm not a fan of Twilight Devastation sometimes, because it just does what it wants. What's going on? Well, I was in combat and I was like wondering, why am I still in combat? Let's have this red liquid, because red liquid is what we need. Let's deal with this elemental. Silenced, never good. Oh wow, okay. Well, that was actually not too bad as far as the damage output is concerned. Let's cut through here and go to the second half of this wonderful horrific vision. I've done these visions too many times to say whether I particularly like one or another a lot or not. But I do still vastly prefer Orgrimmar, and not just because it's easier. I just enjoy the open spaces a bit more. I know there are open spaces in Stormwind, but they do feel a little more like streets, and I'm just not a fan. Alright, so with the Annihilator, Lull, in case you need that reminder as well, there's like some people who don't do this enough and often enough. Lull, if you stand right on top of him, his beam that pushes you away, the very annoying beam, that one, will not hit you. You will not be hurt, and my guess is that it's way too much of an obvious thing for this to be a bug or exploit or anything like that for that matter, so I'm sure this is somehow explained by Blizzard by saying, well, he's so tall, if you're right under his bomb, he will not see you, which is probably fair enough, and I'm very happy with it. Thank you, Blizzard. Because me as a Horrific Vision runner, it's already, I like the content, but it's already annoying enough. I don't need extra annoyances or complications. That is how I feel about this. Meteor is also, so I don't know how you feel about Meteor, especially if you're mages, please talk to me. Meteor is something that I've started experimenting with not long ago, and I talk like as if I play fire a lot. I don't. But I did play fire in LFR, I did play fire obviously early in Horrific Visions. I kind of tried it and was like, oh my god, that's gonna be a long slog. So Meteor was not on my radar at first, like I kind of didn't use it as a talent, but now I started using it more and more in my runs. I did swap out, swap back in, and I'm actually quite enjoying it. I quite enjoy the extra opportunity to do some extra damage, so if that counts for an advice from a not very proficient mage, please take it for what it is. I do recommend that you use Meteor in your setup. I'm very much hoping, my friends, that I hope for two things right now. Okay, let us just be very clear. First, I hope that I have not yet used up cranial defibrillation. That's my first hope. My second hope is that I will be able to kill this guy, Inquisitor Thrall. My hope is that I'll be able to do this without necessarily spending an orb, which at the moment I'm already in it, in the situation, so it will either fail or it will not. Basically, it's very simple. To an extent, it's easier with this boss on ranged classes, on casters specifically, because I can literally flat out stand behind this stump and my spells still go through and he gets no chance to get me. So it's another one of those little skips, I suppose, the ones that are, I assume, very legit. But this boss, if nothing else, Thrall on my mage and on any other caster, is easier than on any other class. Even my overgearing classes, even my paladin, even my everyone else. Come on, Misha, let's do this. Not too bad, not too bad, not too bad, guys, not too bad. Fingers crossed, because it will be very exciting, because then it would be like an experience that we had together in real time, and I know to you maybe it means not much, but to me it actually does. But at this stage, quite honestly, it could still all go very pear-shaped on Rexxar. Rexxar is known for this kind of stuff, yeah. Alright. Oh, right. Nope. Oh, thank God for this purpley thing. We'll get rid of this first, and then we'll skip. Yes, now. So I'm hopeful at the moment. At the moment, I have reasons to believe. Oh, no! Oh, barely made it. At the moment, I have reasons to believe that we might just make it, guys. We might just make it. Let's make some food in the meantime and maybe have a little bit of food. I have 2 orbs left. Basically, I'm gonna engage with the group ahead of me without using an orb, obviously. and I'm gonna spend an orb on pulling of Rexxar. Knew that that's gonna happen. That was not too bad. That was not too bad. So let's get rid of these shadows. Shadows off. See you later. Let's have an orb and let's say our prayers, my friends. Let's say our prayers, because this guy always makes people sweat. Makes me sweat, makes everyone sweat. Come on, let's give him everything we got. Come on. Even with the self-sustain, guys, even with self-sustain, you see what he does to my health? Oh my god. Oh no! And that was cranial defibrillation, guys. That was cranial defibrillation. So one of my wishes came true. Cranial defibrillation saved my bomb here. Phew, we have one orb left. We obviously are going to use him on Thrall. Thrall for this non-self-sustaining class probably is going to be a bit of a challenge. I suspect he will be a bit of a challenge because he inherits Rexxar's piggies, at least 2 of them. Luckily I have still invisibility, so don't forget, if you're like me here, you might forget invisibility and you might just start running. But don't forget that these groups are still active, so you need to use up this invisibility for this final little stroll. But I'm actually very pleased that without Gift of the Titans, and with the Cloak rank only 11 with 65% reduction, even with the goulash, but no really other food, we were able to go as far as we went. Okay, the last orb, guys, no cranial defibrillation in play. Let's do this. Naturally, guys, I probably don't need to say this, but naturally avoiding his stun and trying to break the shield that don't have enough DPS on this toon. Trying to break the shield before he does AoE sanity damage, which equals to 30 in a non-buffed way. But imagine when you're wearing Mask of Daredevil, that quadruples all damage, quadruples it. Imagine how much damage that does to you. I think we're just gonna make it, guys. And this will be the first full clear of Orgrimmar on my mage for me. It was a bit more stressful than it needed to be, but it felt like a push and you were with me for it. Thank you for that. Subscribe if you haven't already and if you enjoyed some of it. If you didn't enjoy some of it, well, please give me a shot. Take a look at give me another shot, another chance. Take a look at other videos, see other content that might be appealing for you, or let me know how can I make this better for you, this experience. And to all my supporters, to all my people who have been with me for a long time, I just want to say thank you, guys. It does mean a lot. It does mean a lot. It's not empty words. It means a lot to me. And I hope that you get some solace, some fun, some kind of enjoyment out of these videos as much as I do when I'm recording them for you. Let's see, maybe something good in the main chest. Let's take a look. Oh! Another baby Twilight Devastation! Another baby Twilight Devastation! 6%! How many baby Twilight Devastations can I have on this class? Oh my god! Okay, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Let's take it. Thank you very much, Blizzard. And it's time for me to say goodbye, guys. I will see you in 2 days' time. Videos keep coming to you on a regular cadence. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate that you were with me here for this run. Thank you very much again. Gyro, signing off.